Today's guest is Ariel Tchernihovsky, co-owner of EcoStar Remodeling. EcoStar is a company that has its origins in California, and then Ariel launched it here recently in North Texas. We're going to talk about Ariel's journey from growing up in Israel, immigrating to the U.S., and then now launching a successful business. Welcome to the show.
So max 3 things. I know that I can do 10 things a day. Like, let's say I have 10 tasks. I know, like, I'm a person that the night before I'm putting everything on the notes. I'm putting all the important stuff on the notes. So, okay, that's what I can do tomorrow, that I can do tomorrow, that I can do tomorrow. Then I wake up and then I have like list of tasks. That's how I programmed.
Yeah, you're like, let's just knock down each task like it's a hurdle.
Yeah, like from the military, right? That's how you've been programmed. You have a list of tasks and that's what you do. And then you organize your own schedule. You do whatever you do. But now I'm trying to fight that also.
Okay.
I'm trying to fight that. So I'm trying to say, okay, I did 3 things. I did my 3 things. That's it. I don't do nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else. Because otherwise I keep doing whatever everybody's doing. And what it will create, it's like it gives me space to, in the middle of the day, just to go back home. I have nothing on my list. I don't need to do anything. And then I take my dog with a bicycle. You know, I'm just riding the bicycle for an hour. And then I might think about something that I can change, or a new idea, or I will have some kind of a spark about someone. Oh, I need to talk to that person. I think something is going on. Like, it will give me more space to think.
Yeah.
To
have
think.
podcast interviews.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just the more freedom to create.
Exactly. More freedom to create. And that's something that I think, as a person that doing your job right, like a perfectionist, I think it's something that you gotta fight. You gotta fight. And
I think we're in a very similar spot too. Like, I'm reassessing how to create more sustainability for me, because if you go like show houses all weekend, all week, it's like, what happened? You know,
you don't really have space for that.
Yeah. As a bachelor, it's even worse sometimes, because it's like, oh yeah, I'd rather go work than sit at home with the dog, but it might be better for me to just go out to a dog park with the dog and chill. So yeah, that's tricky. We can talk about scaling too while we're on the podcast, because especially what we're talking about.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk to you about your story.
Okay.
I think you have a fascinating story, and I want to share it with our audience. Where are you originally from?
Israel. Originally from Israel.
Okay.
Born and raised in Israel. Parents are from Ukraine.
Okay. So they immigrated from Ukraine before you were born?
Yes. Like 2 years. I think they immigrated. Yeah. 2 years before they arrived to Israel. And then I was born.
Okay. Are you an only child?
No, I have a sister. I have a younger sister. She's 25 now. And 2 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She was faster.
Uncle Ariel.
She was faster than me.
Yeah.
But they came from Ukraine and they came to Israel. And I think on the first year they came into a war. There was a war in Israel. So this is how Israel welcomed them. So it was very hard to them to kind of, first of all, with the language. Second of all, with like financially.
Yeah.
Especially when you immigrate because you need to, not because you want to, because you have to. So you're running away from communism or anything like that. You're trying to go into a more civil country, a country that has more freedom. And then you come to Israel, and then there is a war.
What was it like growing up in Israel?
I liked it a lot. I think it's it's a country that with a lot of warmth. People are very close to each other. People are really caring for each other. At the same time, that's a country that's full with stress, full with anger. And I guess because everything is going on, like wars and things are happening all the time, and terror attacks, and and at the same time when the wars are happening, there is a lot of parties that are happening also. So people are partying,
it's the outlet,
and going to war at the same time in a distance of, I don't know, 20, 30 miles from each other. So it's a kind of crazy.
War is a weird thing.
It is.
I was in the Army, and I think about that often, where it's like people could be sitting at a cafe living their lives and doing what they want to do. And then 5 kilometers away, people are like battling it out.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's not like perpetual all the time. Like
Right.
life is still happening while people are
Right.
fighting.
It's like a reality that you accept in. And
Yeah.
you used to for missiles, you used to for shooting, for terror attacks. I mean, it's nothing crazy. But if you're coming from a very safe place, or let's say you're visiting in Israel, and for God bit, there was a terror attack next to you, it's like very shocking for you. It's like very crazy for you.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna turn around and leave the country right away.
If it's home though, you just deal with it.
You just deal with it. Yeah, you just deal with it, and most likely in the same evening you're gonna go for a bar and you're gonna meet with your friends, and it's like, it's not that as usual. I don't want it to seem like that as usual, but it's not crazy. It's not like awkward that it happened.
Yeah, people have learned to manage around it, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
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 I guess when you say it's warmth and people are kind and help each other out, when there's a sense of conflict, like on the flip side of that is warmth, caring, connection.
Right. That's the good thing that happens. I mean, unfortunately, people are getting connected when in grief or in after big disaster, people are getting connected. So I think that's what's happening in Israel, that a lot of time there is a anger, stress, but at the same time, very close to each other, there is a lot of connection between people.
Is your family still there now?
Yes.
Okay. I think you saw them recently here in the States, though, didn't
Right. They came in for my wedding.
What did they? Yeah, that's right. Congratulations again. What did they think of being here in the States?
They love it.
Okay.
They love it. My mom actually worked in Oklahoma for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
When I was about 15, 16 years old. She came in here to the United States and worked for 3 years. She made some money and came back to Israel to us.
Wow.
So I think my first visit to the United States was when I was 13 years old for my bar mitzvah trip.
Okay.
They told me, oh, you're going to have like a party. This is what usually the bar mitzvah, that's what's happening. It's party, or you can go, or we can send you to travel to the United States. I said, definitely in the United States.
Okay.
I would like to go. I think we went to the Walt Disney in Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was cool. I liked it a lot. But then when I was 15 years old or 16, between 15 to 16, my mom was already here for 3 years. She was working. And I came in here also. I worked with my one of my relatives for a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we my family loves being here. We love
it sounds like it. And I didn't realize that you had spent time here growing up too. And so I think for everybody in Israel, you have to go into the IDF, is it? Israel Defense Forces? And
that was important for me. Like I could make a decision, I would like to stay because I left school. I didn't finish school in Israel. So I left school. I dropped out at probably 15 years old.
Okay.
And then I talked to my mom. She told me, okay, come over here. Like, don't waste your time. Come here and, make some money or go work. And I liked it. So once I came in, I had the decision to go back to Israel or just to keep being here. But it was important for me to serve in the military.
Okay.
So that's why I came back.
And how was that experience for you?
The military.
Yeah, the military.
Fun. It was fun. It was a bad experience with a good experience, I guess.
Yeah.
One of my officers, he said it in Hebrew, but I always remember that sentence. He told us that when we just started, right? When we were in the training, I was a paratrooper and the training was pretty hard. And he always used to keep telling us that the best memories are the worst nightmares, if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your worst nightmare at the moment will be your best memories on the future.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. That's how I see it right now. Like there were good memories at the time. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. But now because it became a source of growth.
Yes.
Remember that time we were stuck there?
Yeah.
And everything fell apart and we made it through.
And everything fell apart and we freeze to death. And, So, and it was raining the whole night and we were full with mud. And now it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. So, but I made some good friends. So we are very good friends still now They're in Israel. They're not here with me. But we always keep in touch, going to each other's weddings. And WhatsApp, yeah, WhatsApp.
No, I have a Brazilian friend, and she's all about WhatsApp.
Right.
And she's like, if you're not from the US, WhatsApp that's it. That's what people want to use. And I'm like, well, just get an iPhone.
I know it's crazy, but I mean, I'm on WhatsApp all day long. Even with people that from here, I'm talking on WhatsApp. I don't know. It's just comfortable.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
you're used to. Well, yeah. Anyways, I could go on the debate of WhatsApp versus iMessages, but it's probably not a good use of our time. At some point, you moved to the U.S. permanently.
Yes, at the age of 23.
Okay.
After the military, like 8 months after the military.
All right. It took some time, and then what inspired you to move back here?
Well, I definitely didn't see my future in Israel. So in Israel, there is a very straight path, like pretty fixed path. So you go into the military. After you're going to the military, you're going to travel, right? You did the military 3, 4 years, 5 years, each one, whatever you did.
Okay.
And then you go and travel, South America. Okay, that's usually, or North America, Central America. You basically go and travel for about 3 months to a year. That's the average. After you come back from the travel, now you have to go to study. Now you have to go study. Okay. Now you're starting college basically in Israel.
So you're starting in your mid-20s.
You're starting at your 22, 23, 24. That's when you're starting, at that age, you're starting actually college. Mm-hmm. Now you came back from your huge trip. You partied a lot, experienced a lot. You kind of wanted to had some kind of reconnection or connected to yourself again after the military. If you've been through some kind of a bad experience.
Yeah, the travel is kind of a R&R, like regrouping thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
You kind of healing your trauma in a way, I would say.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's, it takes you way more far than where you need to be. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of escaping from reality.
Yeah, sure, it could be either way.
Yeah, so I know some people it worked, some people that it didn't really work, and it made the complete opposite. But long story short, you basically having that the same system that everybody goes by. I didn't like it. I never like to do what everybody's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I always have an issue with that. Always, since I don't know where it came from. I have no idea where it came from, but every time I see a group of people doing one thing, I always have a problem with that. I always no, too many people are doing the same thing. Let me do something else. Mm-hmm.
Let me be contrarian.
Yes, yes, and that's why I already knew about kind of the areas in here. I already knew that I like being here. I like the people. I like the system. It's different than Israel. It's more that has way more freedom in here. The market is free. In Israel is not. So it's so I didn't want to go through study, and I didn't want to study. I dropped out of school at a very early age, so I definitely didn't want to go to college back again. So that's mainly why I moved over here. Luckily, I had some childhood friends that were already living in LA.
Okay.
And we're talking on the phone, and they told me, "Hey, you should come here. We in this business, in the construction business, and it's pretty cool, and we make good money, and you should come and try." And I liked it. I was in sales since a very early age. Like sales, that's what you do in Israel, basically.
Okay, you sell stuff.
You sell stuff, yeah.
Okay.
You trade. You always trade.
Yeah.
That's the Middle East. That's the Middle East.
That's true. That is the Middle East. Very much so.
It's deals. It's making deals. It's to trade something in something. And everything is like face-to-face thing. It's not over emails or not over the phone. Is the sales are most of the time are face-to-face. So that's what I always did. So obviously when I came over here, it was kind of easier for me. It was more comfortable for me to go into that area of sales.
Yeah.
But they used to sell construction work, or we call it home improvement. And that's why I came to the United States.
Okay. And so you landed in LA first.
I landed at LA first. Went straight to my friend's house, slept on his couch for about, I don't know, I think 3 months, 3 or 4 months, until I kind of found a job. So the first thing I did was actually being a helper for a project manager.
Okay.
For a salesperson. He was a salesperson and I was his helper, kind of helping him to see if the contractors came in on time, make sure that we collected the check on time, make sure that, visiting the projects, make sure it's clean, make sure they picked up the trash, all those kind of stuff.
Like an assistant project manager in a way. Yeah, just kind of keep things moving.
Yeah, but without any authority, just being the eyes in the field. That's all, and report, right? Just look at something, report. Mm-hmm. I don't make any decision, don't need to make any decision. That's the salesperson or the project manager, they doing the decision. I just been there just to look.
Yeah.
So the pay wasn't that good, but it was fine for me at first, kind of to make sure that I have enough to rent a car, enough to put gas in the car, and enough to rent at the time a small guest house. So in LA, there are many guest houses that they convert out of the garage.
Right.
So they took the back in the backyard. The garage usually is detached. In LA, it's not attached. It's detached in the backyard or in the side of the property or something like that. So they kind of convert it into a unit. They put a bathroom. Yeah, ADU.
Additional dwelling unit, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, nice.
I think we see more of those here in Dallas too. I think
Are
it's
they?
popping up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, as housing gets more expensive, people can maybe offset their housing costs or multi-generational living, or
it's pretty cool.
Your nephew can come stay in the,
I have friends that they literally buying properties in LA and they're just making 2 properties out of 1 property. So it's a good income.
Oh, I bet.
It's a good income.
Are you a real estate agent listening to this podcast? Our team is growing. To find out more about joining a fun, service-minded team, go to hastingsre.com/careers. That's HAISTINGSRE.com/careers.
Yeah.
So that's what I did at first. I remember, I think it used to cost me at the time, which was 8 years ago. It used to cost me at the time about $1,100 to rent a guest house.
Okay.
So that's what I needed. That's all. Just to rent a guest house car, put the gas, and that's how I kind of did that for almost for half a year, and then I started being a salesperson. So it was very challenging at first. It was very challenging at first because I was young, and yes, I was always pretty comfortable with sales. I always kind of knew the tricks. I knew what you need to do in order to be
the dynamics and how the conversation would go.
And I always had a very hard work ethic. So I knew this is something that must in sales. You cannot do it without. So that's what I was always kind of leaning to. Okay, I know how to work hard. I know how to start the first one and be the last one to be done. And that's kind of always leaning into it. But it took me time. It took me about a few years until I was able to actually make some money and grow from there.
Okay. And at some point, I think you and your friends became business partners and started a company.
Yes.
Yeah. How did that come about?
So that got created after 6 years or 7 years, about 6 years in the industry.
Okay.
And I was a salesperson. So again, as I said at first, I was not good at all. That's what I think. I was not good at all. But then something happened with time that kind of, I grew out of it and I became really good. I became really good in what I do. And I was really loving what I do. I was always kind of responsible, and I always was thinking how I can grow within where I'm at right now and not to go by myself and open my own company. So I guess it's something that came from the military also. That kind of I'm good within an operation. I'm good within
structure.
With the structure.
Yeah, I see how the structure works. I can navigate and just
I can see the structure
within the structure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I'm good at that. I know where who to talk to, who what do I actually need to do, how to outgrow everybody. So that's something that I always kind of felt comfortable with. And I started to work with my friends, actually with the same friend that told me to come here to United States.
Igor,
yeah.
Okay.
So I started working with him as a salesperson. I was one of the salesperson. And then after about 7-8 months, they offered me, okay, let's become partners and open a branch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what does it mean, but then they told me we're thinking to grow to Dallas. We are thinking to grow to Dallas. Why Dallas? Like that's first of all, like
That's
why
the big
Dallas?
question. Why? How did you guys
Yeah.
choose Dallas?
Why you chose Dallas? No reason. They just felt Dallas. It's a cool place. I think it was during the COVID time, and everybody in California wanted to move to Texas. Not everybody, but
Plenty did.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I do think Dallas and LA have some strong similarities too in how they're set up and operate, and even some of the style and vibe.
True. There is very similarity to LA, but I think the people are nicer.
Here.
Dallas. Yeah. I think
I
people
do too.
are nicer and more just nicer to be around than people in LA.
Yeah.
They're not trying to, I don't know if it's a good thing to say to screw you over, but you know, in LA you feel like you have to be careful on everything that you do. In here, like if you're not trying to hurt anybody, nobody's gonna try to hurt you. That's how I
people
feel.
are very trusting here.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And they're very welcoming. That was the first thing I noticed when I moved to Texas. I remember I had come from upstate New York, which was friendlier than New York City, but still less friendly than here. And I remember I was starting a new career, and I was like at Nordstrom's going to buy, you know, like some dress clothes and stuff like that for work. And the person in line, not somebody who works there, but just a person in line turns around and starts talking to me and making conversation. And it was like, what's happening? And then I was like, oh yeah, people, we're friendly here. We can talk and interact. And I've really come to embrace that part of North Texas.
So you started being a real estate agent in here in Dallas? Or?
Correct.
Oh, from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been in the industry 8 years as a real estate agent now with its team or business. But I originally came here for a job in consulting, like the more traditional corporate job, and didn't love that. So now here I am with a far less traditional job.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about your company, which is called EcoStar. Talk to me about, so we talked about the founding of it, but tell me about what EcoStar does.
So we are a home improvement company. We are focusing on residential construction. If it's a new construction or improvement or remodeling, that's most of our business is remodeling into existing residential houses. What we are doing is we are basically providing that customer service to manage the whole project, the process of deciding on kind of what we can do with the house, or taking it from a very scratch ideas and made it
to a clear vision to this is real now.
Yes. So we mainly focusing on clients that have an idea, don't know how to pursue it, don't have the obviously the knowledge or the contractors doing it, and we are helping them to remodel the houses, if it's with plans or without plans, our ideas or their ideas. That's our main thing.
Okay. You make dreams come true.
Yeah.
I guess that's a lot of businesses in a way. It all depends on the dream.
Yeah.
I as a real estate agent, I do get really stressed out when clients say, we're just going to buy this house and fix it all up on our own. And I just see disaster happening. And I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to take all this on your own while also trying to live in the house and run a regular job and all of that. So I think there's an importance to what you do, and also helping people articulate what they actually want, because sometimes it's a fuzzy idea that when they execute it just becomes pretty haphazard. And
so it's funny, I have about 3 projects in Lakewood right now in the same neighborhood.
I love Lakewood.
Yeah, it's a very nice area. And I just met one of my clients before I came in here, because we are extending, we are adding to the house about 600 square foot in the back.
Okay.
I'm working in an historical zone, and the houses are very small. You cannot really do anything with the front of the house, but everybody pushing to kind of extending to the back. They have pretty good sized backyards. So I hear more and more from their neighbors that they kind of want to work with me. And they told me, the reason why everybody's talking to you is because for some reason in here, everybody tried to do the remodeling by themselves. Everybody tried to just hire their own individual contractors and be the project manager and save the money from big companies that are coming in and give you a high, maybe it will be a higher price than what you will hire the individual people and manage the whole thing by yourself. And they had a lot of issues. And some of the neighbors had a big issues, and for some reason they all tried to do it in the same way. Maybe it was one crazy idea and everybody kind of...
Well, somebody probably sold their house, made a lot of money, and they're like, we're going to copy that style.
Yes.
We see the photos on Zillow, Compass.com, wherever. We want to make it look like that.
And it probably didn't work out.
And it didn't work out because the magazine photo to real life sometimes takes a little bit of work.
Yeah. Plus that you have a lot of, you have a lot of things that you think that might be easy. Like, it's just going to be a simple construction.
Mm-hmm.
Simple thing. We're not going to, we're not going to overdo it. We're just going to hire someone to remove that wall. We're just going to paint it, going to cover it up, and that's all.
We'll just knock this wall. It'll be easy. Well, and that wall is holding up the house.
Yeah, exactly. That wall hold the house, and now nobody knew that. The guy that came in probably, I don't know, you hired somebody that
Billy
is
Bob.
Yes. And now the house is like cracking all around. So that's why we making sure that we're not getting into those cases. We making sure that we're using like professional people first of all.
Of course.
So it's people that not only they are licensed or registered by the city, people that we can trust, people that we can make sure that they're doing everything by code. Even if it's required engineer and architects or any type of special plans, we're making sure that we're going through those processes.
Mm-hmm. So you had those relationships in LA.
Yeah.
And then you came here. I mean, how was it making those relationships and finding those people?
It was super hard.
That's what I would imagine, like putting together puzzle pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing that we did is once I moved to Dallas, I started to get some projects, very small projects. So I started very, very small, which was very humbling experience because you're coming from a place that everything works and, everything is ticking and there is no issues, so, and you're selling basically big projects. If it's a full remodeling, additions or second stories or new constructions. And then you go into a new place that you don't have any contacts, you don't have anybody, and then you're not gonna start selling big. You're gonna start small.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be wall patch, like maybe paint one room.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of small things that obviously that's how you need to start. I wouldn't recommend to start in right away to a full renovation if you don't even have a plumber or a painter even in hand. So that's why
a great point.
that's why it was very humbling experience for about I would say 8 months, half a year to 8 months, that I didn't take any big projects. I just took small projects and just what I did all day long. That was my hobby, is to go throughout nice houses, nice neighborhoods, and see contractors that working in the houses, because usually that's why that's the quality that I would like to get, the contractors that are working in the nice neighborhoods.
Smart strategy,
right? So I'm not gonna go to kind of the mid-range or lower income neighborhood because I'm not sure which contractor are they hiring. So I will go to the high income neighborhoods and I will go to the mansions, and I will see the truck outside. I will wait outside, and once I will see the contractor, I will talk to him and I will give him his business cards. I will get his business cards, and this is how slowly I will create kind of a relationship with the people.
Yeah.
And it took me about 3 years, almost 3 years, to really be comfortable to say, okay, now I have the crews to getting into full remodeling, new construction, whatever I need. And I'm still growing. I'm still working on it like all the time.
Yeah, well, the labor in that industry is so tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, builders I talk to all the time, that's why it takes so long to build a house, is the availability and the right labor is hard to find.
Yes, and in LA or in California, the difference between Texas to California is that in California you have something that's called Contractor License Board, CSLB, and you have you have permits for everything, you have license for everything. So people are way more strict in California. So as a contractor, you cannot just show up and say, okay, I'm a contractor. I let's open my company and I'm going to start doing construction, because it doesn't work that way. You need to have a registration. You need to have you need to have your license. You need to make sure that you're good with all the contractor license board requirements. So you have some kind of standards. In here in Texas, you don't have much, not as in California. I do notice though that they're starting kind of to work on it.
I've loosely noticed that too. It appears as though there's more licensing across industries.
Yes, I think they're looking more into it. I think they kind of starting to be more strict. I mean, the first people to start being strict is the city. Everything is starting from the city.
Yeah. City of Dallas in particular, right?
Yeah. If they kind of if they're not really strict about stuff, I mean, how the contractor will be.
Yeah.
They're the ones to put in the standards. So the good thing that we are already coming from a place that is very strict. So we are already used to it. We are already working in that type of system.
That was already your procedure.
Exactly. So I'm not being surprised that somebody tells me, oh, you cannot do that work. You actually need a permit. I do know that I need a permit. I'm not going to even try to do something without a permit or without some kind of the right registration or anything like that.
Yeah, it's interesting sometimes when I'm working with a buyer who is purchasing a home that has appeared to have some remodeling. So there have been times where the buyer is like, hey, let's call the city and ask if they had a permit, or let's ask who did the work on that house so we can know if there's a warranty on it. And there wasn't a permit because it wasn't required.
No permits. You know how many houses I saw over here that looked nice outside, but then you're entering inside, clients, they're entering inside and you can see tons of issues. And basic issues as from electrical, plumbing, foundation, framing, things that could be kind of big. Not like the painting is not good.
Right. Yeah, that's an issue, but not really the kind you need to worry too much.
Yeah, especially like here in Dallas, there is a lot of floating problem. Not as big, but there is a floating problem.
Floating?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Floating, like there's a lot of rain. Their elevations are not good.
Okay.
And then around the house, you create a lot of floating, and the soil is not the best here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Clay, yeah. So you have a lot of issues of foundation. So floating, clay, that creates a big issue all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make some things that might look crazy for you at first, like drainage around the whole house, French drains, or grading to the ground. Things that doesn't make sense for you because you never saw your neighbors doing anything like that. But that's why they have like crazy issues in their houses. I see a lot of houses that has crazy issues.
That's why they call you, though.
Yeah.
So as the owner of a remodeling company, what does a typical project look like?
Just an average project, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So average project usually will be involved cosmetic, and I will call it some necessities like foundation, electrical, plumbing, and on the cosmetics there will be like bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel, and it obviously goes together. So for us, it will be basically that we will receive a phone call from the client, or somehow we will receive their information from different variants. I mean, we publishing our information on online. We have a lot of telemarketing around. We receiving a lot of clients from from neighbors or referrals or anything like that. So the first thing we will do is that obviously we have like a dispatch office that will make the first phone call to the client. So we'll make sure that they are really the homeowners. They're not some renters.
Yeah, right.
They're not trying to get an estimate in order to sue a different contractor.
Yeah.
Not trying to sue some kind of a city or something. We'll have some kind of a 20 minutes phone call, about 15 to 20 minutes phone call. Yeah, with the client, and making sure to filter the people that we not interested to work with, and there's just not our type of clients. And we're making sure that we have a very strong filter right there, because we don't want to waste our time and all my project manager's time, or the client's time also, because sometimes they think that we will provide them, but we are not there just to go to the house, write an estimate, and that's all. We want to have the job. We want to get the job. Of
course, yeah.
Yeah, and some clients, dealing with insurance or dealing with lawsuits or anything like that. Once we passing through this stage, we will basically based on the phone call a lot of times. So we will hear the client. We will see what is his expectations, what he wants to do. We will try to kind of get the best project manager that will fit or that type of people or that type of project. So we want to make sure that to create the best fit. The project manager will get there to the job site. He will meet both homeowners or 3 homeowners or 1 homeowner, it doesn't matter, but he will make sure that all the homeowners are there. And they will share with my project managers basically what is their ideas, what are their concerns, what are they trying to achieve. And it's a meeting of about 2 to 3 hours.
It's a long meeting.
It's a long meeting, yeah. And I do feel that it's a must. I always train my project managers. Don't sign with any client if it's less than 1 hour. Like if it's less than 1 hour, don't make agreement with anybody, because in construction, it's you're not selling a product and disappearing. It's not like, okay, here's the glass.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you for
your
your business.
car and leave. Bye.
Yes, exactly. Like in construction, I always say, or in real estate also, you sell yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting married.
Yeah.
You're getting married.
It's maybe short term, but
could be short. Could be
yeah, it could be a year-long remodel project.
Exactly.
Or a year-long home search or new construction.
Exactly. And I have clients that I'm working with for over in here in Dallas, almost 3 years, like almost since I came over here.
Wow.
Not on the same project.
Yeah.
Not on the same project. It's always like, okay, we're doing this. And after 2 months, they call me back. Hey, now we want to do that.
Yeah.
We finished our house. Now we want to do the backyard, So it could be long relationship, it could be short-term relationship, but
it's a relationship.
It's a relationship, and your time is super important. That's why I always say to my project managers, your time is super important. Like invest your time with people that you feel that you have a good connection with, because I feel in construction, like for both parties, like the client and the company, if the communication and the expectations is not right, no matter how we're going to do the project, nobody's going to be happy with that. It's just that the process is so important. It's like you both going for a journey. That's why when I'm meeting with clients, I need to spend my time with them. My project managers need to spend my time with them. Me personally, I don't make any agreements with client if it's less than 2 hours, 3 hours. Honestly,
to get to know you.
I want to get to know them.
Yeah,
I want to get to know them. I want to make sure that, what are their concerns? What are they afraid about? How do they pick their contractor? What is important for them? What is their expectations? How will they feel if something will happen?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if this is the type of people I want to work with.
I suspect a lot of this is learned from experience.
Yes, definitely.
What's one of the worst projects you've ever had?
Worst projects? I had some.
I'm sure of it.
I had some. Yeah. I mean, it's, there are some personalities that no matter what you do and how you do, that you did your best.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that you did your best. It's just no matter what would you do, it will never be enough.
Yeah.
It was dead from it was I call it a wrong place from the beginning. No matter what would you do, if all the stars will be aligned, if everything will work, it's still something's going to be wrong. So,
yeah, that's very hard to overcome.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's a learning experience, and I accept everything. So I accept every challenge, and sometimes I could be mistaken. Also, sometimes I could say that this is a good client for me. This is a good fit, and a month into the project, I see that no, we're not a good fit. But if I took something on me, I will never leave the job site. That's something that very important for our company. Is like it's really in our religion of the company that we are not leaving anything. We're not leaving anything behind. We're not leaving anybody out there without completing the job. What?
That contractors will just
leave? A lot of times, yeah. I'm going to a lot of clients that they have their halfway project. A project that they maybe did their full remodel. I met a big amount of clients that did their project halfway, or demo the project, demo the whole thing, demo the house, or demo everything inside of the house, and the contractor disappeared. Dang. Something happened with the contractor. And that's also the difference between I mean, what are you being on the market for? Is it like you just want to do the project, do the remodeling, take the money and disappear, or you want to build the name of the company? Like you want to build the brand name, and that's what we do. We building the brand name. So we're not going to leave anybody behind, no matter how hard it is. I had some projects that I lost even money. I lost money out of it, but I took it. It was my responsibility. So I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to finish it on the best side. I'm not going to cut corners anywhere. I'm going to make sure it will be the most beautiful project, no matter how much money I did over there. The name of the company is more important for me than the actual profit.
Right. Yeah, you can do that as a private business owner, I think, to really think long term. So many companies just think short term, and it can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
To see industries operating that way.
Yeah, and especially contractors.
Yeah. Well, can you define maybe a pivotal moment for you in your career?
Like as?
Well, if you think back on your experience so far, has there been any experience that's really shaped how you do business?
Yeah, I think the moment I decided that I'm gonna do it for good, the moment I decided that this is the area I want to stay in, because I also think that there are some, if it's project managers or business owners, they're doing something they're not really happy with. They're not really liking what they're doing. So they know that they're doing it for a very short term. So it could be something, a 5-year thing. So they don't really care about their business. They don't really care to scale it. They don't really care about the brand name or making sure that all your customers are happy and then really try for it. Just caring about get the money into the pocket and as much as I can, wherever I can. And and move forward.
So when did that happen for you that you realized this is the industry I'm committed?
I think once I moved to Dallas.
Okay.
Once I moved to Dallas, obviously before I was a salesperson, so I was just thinking about the money that comes into my pocket. I didn't really think about the brand name, the company, how we can grow the company, how I wasn't thinking in that way. Once I moved to Dallas and I got to be a partner, I took the company as like it's my company.
It's the ownership mindset.
It's my company 100%. I don't have any partners. It's mine. It's all me. And that's where I was kind of able to change my personality. And a lot of things change around also.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Change you and then everything else changes too.
Yeah, you're not the same person. You have a different identity. So
I find that to be the cool part about life, and I think it's easier to experience as an entrepreneur because you can grow, and as industries change, you can change with it. Versus, some people will pick a very specific technical job and sit inside of a big company for a very long time, and maybe they'll grow as a person. But I do think it's interesting to see, just reflecting back on my own life through different seasons and careers, and even in this business, like how I've grown and changed and how my philosophy on not just business, but life has changed too with it. And maybe that's just being almost middle-aged or something. I don't know, but just something I've been reflecting upon.
And we keep growing. I mean, this is
that's the cool thing about life is you get to decide to keep growing and expanding.
I mean, you're not the same person as you've been a week ago. And maybe a month from now, I'm going to have a different perspective. And I don't know, maybe something will happen in my life to change it, So I do believe that you are where you need to be. I do believe that you just, any experience and anything that's happened, if it's in business or in life, you take it as not that it happened because of you, it happened for you. So you're just learning from that experience and you're growing from that experience.
Life is happening for me.
Yes.
Not to me.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I love that. What's making you smiled? What?
No, it was fine. I didn't say it right.
No. I know. I've been summarizing what you said. That's something that Tony Robbins says, and so it's fresh in my mind from having listened to a lot of his content over the years. That's how he says what you were communicating there was life is happening for you, not to you, and it is. It's a slight mindset shift that does change everything.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
What does entrepreneurial success look like for you?
For me, it's really changing a lot. It's something that I'm changing a lot with time. So I might have a vision right now that maybe next year it will be very small vision compared to what's happening with me next year.
Yeah. Because you'll expand and grow, and then suddenly this is a small vision.
Yeah, suddenly it's small. Like I know that today, my vision is much bigger than where it was a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, a year ago, I was thinking on how I can have annual revenue of 15 million in my company. Once I got there, I was okay. This is not that big. It's not that big.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that money is not that big. Because I came from a very kind of small place, I think, in Israel. They're thinking about very small money, especially thinking about not about dollars, but thinking on kind of the Israeli money, which is shekel.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's shekel. It's like one shekel is 3.4, 3.5, $1.
Oh, so
you know, when you move from Israel to United States, you're making $1,000 like you're making 4,000 in Israel. So you think you make a good money. You think you're making a good money. So you have that. You need to overcome that at some point also, because you think you make a good money, and then you're making, let's say you're making 10,000, for example, and then you see people around you that are making 50.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like, okay, it's like that's very small money. You know, it's not much. So that's where I was last year with my company, and today I'm thinking about a number of 60 million.
So 4x.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of focusing everything that I can do throughout my day to be there, and what do I need to change in order to be there. And I don't have an end goal for your question. I don't have an end goal. If it's hard for me to say, okay, that's my, you know,
this is where
that's
I'm
my
at.
finish line.
But I think I'm hearing when you say what success looks like for you, it's like always growing and expanding.
Yes.
Both the business and you as a person.
Yes.
Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
That's a good explanation.
Okay.
No,
I think that's super cool. And so what you're really talking about is scaling too.
Scaling.
How have you scaled, and how do you plan to scale in the future?
How I scaled is that I was able to take myself out of what I do on my daily routine. We talked about it a little bit before, but I think my biggest challenge with throughout building the company here in Dallas, it was that I was thinking that I will do the best job, that I will do it the best. So if I'm hiring 5 new salespeople, I know that I'm the best salesperson. So I still need to be in the field. So I still need to go there and get the sales while I'm giving them a little bit of attention or teaching them, and hopefully they will pick up. You know, so that's how I used to be. And then it grew to 10 salespeople, then it grew to 20 salespeople. And then I told to myself, okay, now I can now afford myself to go out there and bring the business by myself, because I really have a lot of people to take care of. So that's kind of how I try to scale myself in that part. That I came to a lot of challenges now that I think it's not how much I sell, or if I want to get the sale, is it really worth it for me? Is it really worth it for me to go out and selling something? Is it really worth it for me to go out and get this new client? Or is it worth it for me maybe to sit in the office and kind of not doing anything, just observe? So it was a challenge, and I think this challenge, it takes a long time. I'm still within this challenge all the time.
It's a mindset shift, and that.
Yeah.
I'd love to think those happen like this. I don't know that they do.
Yeah.
That's not been my experience personally.
Yeah. I mean,
it's an iterative process.
True. And I mean, also when you're thinking about scaling, not all the time you're thinking about, oh, I'm gonna make way more money. It's not how I'm thinking. It's kind of thinking is if I'm able to do that. It's challenging me if I'm let's say if I made last year 15 million in sales, will I be able to get to 60 million? I'm not thinking really how much money will go into my pocket, or it's not coming from there. It's coming more from, will I be able to manage that? Will I be able to bring the company to that point? Like that gives me way more.
The challenge.
Yeah, the challenge.
Who do I have to become?
Yeah.
Who does the business what does the business have to become to
True.
do it? Yeah.
True. True. I mean, I think for me it was always kind of patient. I was always passionate about it, like to grow, to be better.
Yeah, I love that about you. We met on a remodeling project you were doing, or a home flip.
Right,
more
in Plano.
accurately. Yeah, in Plano. And I know that you and your business partners and friends have done a lot of real estate investment over the years.
Correct.
What's a piece of advice you would give to somebody listening who wants to do their own real estate flipping?
Real estate flipping. Make cash deals.
Make cash deals. Yeah, that's a great piece of advice.
But really, is that I mean, learn the market. Really learn the market. Some of the real estate flips that you will do are don't meant to be short terms, and that's okay to even if you did a flip and maybe the market is not worth to sell right now, it's okay to keep it. You don't try to put yourself in a position that you really think about a bigger picture, because a lot of the houses that you're trying to sell real quick, you're actually losing a lot of money.
It's a fundamental problem with flipping, I think, in my mind, actually. It's interesting you said that, as people are, again, thinking short term. How can I cut corners to make the most money in the shortest amount of time?
Exactly.
Versus, and this is less common on the high end, but it's like, how do I build an exceptional product that everybody's going to want?
Exactly.
And I'll make money because there's a premium for an exceptional product.
Yes. And I think, they a lot of people thinking in that way because they think they don't have maybe, or the clientele, or the people to work with, or the contractors that can work with, or maybe they think how I can make like real quick cash real quick, or but that's where you need to 10x, and that's where you need to think bigger. And you might not gonna do more money right now, but if this will be your standards about flipping, you can make much bigger numbers on $10 million houses, on $5 million houses than $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses. And the flip that this is how we met in Plano. That was a funny story, because that flip made literally that made to be a tryout.
Yeah, like it was that you guys were new in the marketplace then.
We were completely new. That meant to be just a tryout. Just for me to be able to actually try contractors in this house and not in clients' houses.
Yeah.
Because again, we came over here without any knowledge. We didn't have anybody over here to guide us and to tell us, okay, this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do. Here's the people. Here's a list of people. We didn't have that. So I did it by myself, of course, and buying this house and making a small flip on the house like that. It was a good learning experience.
Yeah, that house turned out beautiful. I remember it. And but I also remember you were learning a lot with vendors and had to have people redo things to meet your standards. And
yes.
It was
learning
challenging. The market too, like what neighborhoods are the best places to do flips.
Where?
When you say, well, I don't know that I could tell you that today. I generally try to avoid doing a ton of short-term. Again, it's a short-term mindset that I try to avoid doing those. Like, I'm more interested in what you've done. Like, hey, let's find something that you can rent and hold and then do a more extravagant flip later.
Yes.
That's a little more interesting to me. But like, hey, let's find something for $150 and make it $250. Like, that's doesn't really exist anymore. Those deals aren't there to be had.
That's true.
Or somebody's getting taken advantage of, and I'm just not cool with that.
That's true. And a lot of those houses, that's where people cutting corners.
Right.
So let's say I did a remodeling on my own house right now. So it's a market that's over $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So usually people that will buy $1 million houses I think they would look more. That's what I would do. I'm not sure if everybody does that. You know better, but they will look into maybe, is that permits? Is there a permit? Is that being done with plans or with engineering? That's at least what I would look for if I would buy $1 million houses, because it's a big investment.
It's a more sophisticated
buyer
too, and our taste is different.
True.
I think the higher the price point, the more that client is accustomed to working with advisors and outside people to help them do things.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
yeah, if you're going to flip, that's probably the price point to be in too, because there is a little more wiggle room.
True.
Yeah.
The best thing is to demo the house and to rebuild.
Uh-huh.
That's the fun part, and that's where you can really be creative.
Mm-hmm.
When you're remodeling a house, with existing house, you need to take under consideration a lot of surprises. Like the foundation, the electrical, the plumbing is not right, the sewer line might not be right, and when your profit margin is very small, you're trying to kind of like not seeing that, to go around it. I'm just gonna paint the house white bricks, and I'm just gonna paint it in white, put up black windows, and it will look new, but then everything inside is falling apart. Like your plumbing, your electrical is bad. So those things are very important for me, at least.
In the military, they had this expression called putting lipstick on a pig. I'm sure there was a version of it in IDF too, but like when the commander was going to inspect, sometimes people would make things look really good for the inspection, hoping that they wouldn't dig deeper to see what was beneath it, right?
True. True.
So putting lipstick on a pig, like making it look really good, even though it was not a great operation or piece of equipment or whatever. And that, I think of that expression all the time when I'm touring a flipped home, and I'm like, did they just put lipstick on a pig?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is an inspector going to find that the plumbing's bad, electrical's bad, foundation problem?
Yeah. How would you look into when you're going into flip? Like, what would you look at usually?
For me as an agent, that's a good question. Well, the first thing I look at in a lot of houses is the flooring. I think I'm a flooring snob, first of all.
Oh, really?
So I'll look at the flooring, and one thing I'll think about if it's a flip, I will. If there's different flooring in each room and there's not a theme for the flooring, like, we're using an engineered hardwood through all the common areas and carpet in the bedrooms, or if each room has different flooring, I'm like, yeah, they went cheap. That's the first thing I think about there.
Yeah.
I also, you can usually look and see that in older houses, you can see the AC unit. Like you look outside and see the AC unit, but you can also open a closet and see the heating system or the water heater. And it's like, how old is that? Is it 50 years old, or is it new?
Yeah, makes sense.
So I guess that's like the quick cheats that I look at, or I pull open the cabinets. Yeah.
So one thing I would recommend that you can really know if it was done right or not is, let's say you're going into a house and then you see a new kitchen, right? I mean, you see a nice kitchen, you see new cabinets, maybe new countertops, you see some, new paint, backsplash, and then you go into the bathroom and you see a new bathroom also. What I would do always is I would go to the panel box. And then I will see, okay, where is the panel box located? Is it inside of the house? Okay, if it's inside of the house, how big it is? Like, there are small panel boxes, which is like that size, and there are the big ones, right? The difference between them is the amp on the panel box and the amount of breakers. So if they remodel the kitchen and they remodel the bathroom, but the panel box is old, that means that their electricity is bad and they haven't touched whatever.
That's a great tip.
Whatever is behind the walls, they didn't touch at all.
And all the new appliances are sucking maybe not more energy, but they require different electrical structure.
And it's dangerous. By the way, it's dangerous, really. I mean, if the wires are old, the aluminum wires, if they're aluminum wires and there is a lot of usage of them, it's getting melted, and obviously possibly a fire. If the panel box is old, also it's not able to detect it, and very fast the house is on fire. So it's important to look into those things.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So we talk about if an investor wants to flip a home, but what if you're a homeowner and you want to remodel a home? What do they need to think about?
Hiring. Okay, the way that I would think about it is that it will be way more expensive than what I thought. That's first of all. If I'm a homeowner, that's the best suggestion I would tell homeowners also. It will be more expensive than what I thought, because a lot of homeowners, they're thinking, I saw that on a TV show, it's going to be $20,000. This whole kitchen remodel will be $20,000. And then I started to get estimates, and then this kitchen is $80,000. So be prepared that it will be more expensive than what you thought. Be prepared to pay more than what you thought also. So don't try to go cheap on big remodels or important remodels. I mean, if you're trying to do your kitchen every 5 years, that's fine. You can put 20,000 on your kitchen. But if you're trying to do your kitchen once and that's it, and you don't want to touch it anymore, be prepared to put on your kitchen about $80,000. Mm-hmm. Depends on the size, of course, but be prepared, because that's how you should do it. So it's that's one of the first things that I will say. And second of all is try to hire one general contractor or one company to just cover everything. Even me as a contractor, when I did remodeling in my house, I had a lot of headache because obviously I use individual people.
Yeah, you were the general contractor.
I'm the general contractor, but I had a lot of, it was a hustle. It was a hustle because I had to obviously go to work, do my business, do my thing. And at the same time, I need to take care of my house. If I will take care of my house, I'm not going to make any money, so I'm going to lose both ways. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I would prefer to try to buy kind of a stress-free process for a construction, because it is a lot of stress and there is a lot of changes. And also, when you hire a contractor, make sure that this contractor is understanding design. There are many contractors that are pretty old school and they're working with old school designs, that you saw there 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but there are so many new things out there that you need to be knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's what's interesting to me about your company, actually, is because I perceive that a lot of the trends that arrive in Texas come from the coast. So LA is a very trendy city.
True.
The trends that maybe are more enduring will come here to Dallas, and same from New York or Florida. Some of those trends will come to Dallas. So I don't typically think of Dallas as the city where the trends are being set. Some people are quick to adopt them, but if it's popular in LA for 5 years, on year 6 it'll start to get popular in Dallas. From 6 to year 10, and in LA, that's not the thing anymore.
Right. So we are doing a lot of new construction in LA, and we're building houses worth $3 million, $5 million, $7 million, and up. So the houses that we are doing are super high end. And we're working with very good architects and designers. So we know the trends. We know what's out there. We know how to do it. It's just about finding the person that can actually do it over here in Dallas. That's the challenge. Mm-hmm. Because as you said, for example, there are things as, just give you an example, lime wash. Okay, lime wash process, like paint. In LA, it's way more common today to use lime wash inside of the house for interior painting. In Dallas, it's not yet. It's very rare to see. In my house, I did everything lime wash. Mm-hmm. The way that I did the lime wash is my wife actually know how to do the lime wash.
She was your subcontractor.
She was the subcontractor. We ordered the paint all the way from Germany.
Your most expensive subcontractor ever, I bet.
Yes. And she literally took some people that she trusts, and she started to put the process on one of the walls, and she taught them how to do it, and they do it, and they did the whole house together, and nice. It looked beautiful, and it came up amazing. But again, it's very hard to find people that know how to kind of work with those new trends. So it's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, we have a tradition on the podcast where the last guest asks the question for the next one, and they don't know who the guest is. So our last guest asked for you, what do you not like about your job and why?
I think what I don't like about my job is to end relationships.
Okay.
I don't like to end relationships. I'm a person that has very high hopes for other people. And I'm very forgiving also. Mm-hmm. That's who I am. That's my personality. My wife always laughing about it, that I'm super forgiving. But it's hard for me to end up relationships, especially when you're trying to scale yourself and you're trying to put a different standards. And we talked about it also, that time that you actually take a step back and you just observe, you can really see where the where the cancer is, you know. So you need to have the guts to cut the cancer.
Yeah. It's tricky.
And I don't like it. It's something that I don't like, but it's something that it's a must also.
It's part of business.
Yeah. And I know a lot of times that I hurt myself by not ending relationships. And you know, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but I do feel that if you're trying to scale yourself and you're putting standards on the table and just people don't get your standards, those people are not for you. You know, there's so many good people out there that specifically for you, they're the best.
Yeah.
It's the best fit. And you're not going to be able, I know for myself, I'm telling it always to myself, I mean, you're not going to be able to bring new energy if you're not, removing this existing energy.
Right.
You're not open to bring new people if you're not replacing.
Yeah.
So that's something that I don't like. Yeah. That's something I don't like.
That's a great answer. That's a challenging part of business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what do you wish I would have asked you?
What I'm gonna do next with my company.
Oh yeah. What are you gonna do next?
Well, I'm gonna go through all Texas.
You're gonna go
Texas
wide.
Yes.
That's funny.
Dallas will be our school. Basically, what I will create is that the center of everything in EcoStar in Texas will be in Dallas.
It is the center of tech. No, I'm just kidding.
It is? Yeah, actually it is. Also to Oklahoma.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, also to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually been there last week.
Scale, that 4X. You go to Oklahoma, Austin maybe,
exactly.
Houston, and San Antonio.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be first of all to Oklahoma, then Houston.
Okay.
And then Austin.
Nice.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
So that's the direction right now. That's what I'm working on. Very hard right now. So would be like as that I would like to create an environment that are able to bring people from different cultures, from different areas, and kind of give them that school, you know, schooling them, because it's not like a real estate agent that you have a license. You know, everybody can be by the end of the day project manager or a salesperson. So I would like to create a school for salespeople and project managers. That the school will be over here in Dallas, and people would just go out from Dallas to different locations. If it's Houston, if it's Oklahoma, and I will be probably traveling a lot.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Your business partner, Igor, I did a real estate transaction with him a while ago, and I thought of this comment because we were talking about something, and he says, "I'm here for your coaching call. You need to think bigger. You need to think all of Texas."
Yeah.
And so when you said all of Texas, it reminded me of that conversation, which I thought was pretty funny.
True.
And probably I should think bigger too. I mean, this is inspiring.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
I know you're a busy guy. If our audience wants to connect with you or your company, what's the best way?
We are now on almost every social media.
Okay.
It's EcoStar Remodeling and Construction. We have a team that uploading videos. We have a YouTube channel, really cool.
Awesome.
That we tell about the company. We show our offices in LA. We show some of our new construction work, our remodeling work, clients, testimonials. So EcoStar Remodeling and Construction.
Put it in. You'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Are you ready to take the next step in your home selling journey? Picture this: a seamless and stress-free home selling experience that puts you in control. At the Haistings Real Estate Group, we understand that selling your home is more than a transaction. It's a life-changing decision. That's why our team of dedicated experts is here to guide you every step of the way. We pride ourselves on selling real estate without the hassle. Learn more by visiting HastingsRE.com. That's HAISTINGSRE.com.